The professor's wife denied being the former village chief's daughter, but the woman had already obtained conclusive evidence proving her true identity. The woman produced a photograph taken years earlier when the professor's wife paid respects to her deceased father, the former village chief. Next, she revealed that although the village chief erased most of his daughter's documents, county archives still preserved evidence proving her true identity. The woman revealed her grandmother waited until death, while the professor escaped with the shameless woman using stolen identities to become a law professor and painter. Because her husband abandoned them, the woman's grandmother raised their child alone and endured a lifetime of cruel gossip and condemnation. When they insisted everything was false, the woman proposed comparing her mother's DNA with the professor's to prove the truth. Just then, the woman's mother arrived, ready to confront the professor who had abandoned her family decades earlier. She presented her 1976 birth certificate from the year he left, revealing his final letter promised to return for his wife and infant daughter before disappearing forever. Seeing how closely the woman's mother resembled the professor, everyone condemned him for abandoning his wife and child while preaching fairness and morality. Panicking, the professor immediately ordered his supporters to make every reporter shut down the live stream. But the woman reminded him that her own reporters were still present, and this time nobody could cut off the live stream for him. The woman's mother showed the professor her mother's belongings, demanding he face the woman who waited a lifetime, and questioning his claims of fairness. The professor completely lost his composure, and could only mutter weakly that everything was slander. Just then, the disciplinary committee called, announcing an investigation into the professor's identity fraud, academic misconduct, abuse of power, and retaliation against students, requiring him to appear within 24 hours. Cornered, the professor blamed his current wife, claiming she made her village chief father pressure him and leave him no choice. His wife angrily revealed that he had approached her first and declared his rural wife was unworthy of him. While they fought and blamed each other, a police investigation team arrived and ordered the professor and his wife to come with them for questioning. Facing arrest, both spouses betrayed each other and claimed victimhood, while their carefully built image of 50 years of devotion collapsed completely before the livestream. Before police took him away, the professor apologized to his daughter and granddaughter, invoked their shared blood, and begged them not to let him go to prison. He even invoked the love his late wife had for him, claiming that if they forgave him, he would return and live peacefully with them. But the woman said the apology belonged to her grandmother, whose stolen identity prevented burial in her ancestral grave after death. Next, the professor finally gave his true wife the apology delayed for 50 years, and after he finished, the police took him away. But her grandmother could no longer hear the apology. Fortunately, the professor's debt to 3 generations of women had finally been fully reckoned. Next, the woman and the victims celebrated their hard-earned victory after finally exposing the professor's crimes. She told them they could now pursue research peacefully, without anyone using them as stepping stones, because their achievements would belong only to them. The man who lost his sister thanked the woman, saying the professor's crimes were exposed, and his sister could finally rest. The man forced to drop out of school also thanked her, saying he would keep his stall and use his legal knowledge to help others. Inspired by her courage, the students declared they wanted to become people like her, calling the woman their example and guiding figure. Later, at her grandmother's grave, the woman shared their victory, celebrating her freedom from the mountains and the punishment of the man who abandoned his family. Next, she placed news of the professor's punishment before her grandmother's grave, letting her hear he had been permanently dismissed and stripped of every honor. She told her grandmother the professor and the woman who stole her identity had lost everything and been imprisoned, where they would spend the rest of their lives. She told her mother that the professor's granddaughter had entered another country illegally, but without legal status, and with no home left in her own country, she could only wander abroad forever. Later, the woman founded her own law firm, explaining it existed to uphold fairness, defend justice, and help lawyers practice with a clear conscience. Those she had helped said simple gratitude could never repay her, so they joined her firm to help more people and continue the justice she began. She also thanked them for their support, reminding them that when others someday depended on their decisions and help, they must remember where they came from. Then, realizing countless victims remained trapped in their own struggles, she prepared to lead her law firm into its next battle. The story ends here. Thank you for watching.